hello there, and we are live. See ya, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to even waste time with the intro because me and Oregon gonna want to talk about something very, very, very serious today. There's no need to waste time with all those shenanigans. See ya, guys, with me, my brother, my guy, my brother,
What's up,
everything.
Tony?
Yeah. Oregon
Going
Gunner,
on?
you welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty nervous for the NLD coming up
How you doing,
this
brother?
Sunday.
Hope you're okay.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, ready to dive into it. This weekend's chaos because it's going to be chaos.
Oregon Gunner, see, yeah, in one of Shakespeare's writings, yeah, there's
Yeah.
something called a Daniel has come to judgment.
Oh, okay. I thought
It's
it was a
Judgment
super
Day for
super
Arsenal.
fan you were going to
Now
bring
you
on.
get it. It's Judgment
I get
Day.
it now.
You don't do
Yes.
you don't do good business, yeah, in the transfer window. You don't you see, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you don't get these things correctly. Now our players are getting injured, they're dropping like flies. The indiscipline in the team is showing. Declan Rice is off that not London derby.
Mhm.
See, we're dropping like flies. And you know what, yeah? We have come to a judgment. Arsenal is the Daniel. We've come to a judgment.
Right.
Oregon Gunner, talk to me what you think about what's really going on right now on the internationals. Martin Odegaard out for 3 weeks. Look at that ankle. And you know what? Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
even really think
longer
it's
than
going to be
that.
just 3 weeks. He,
No, me
he
neither.
looked bad. He looked wrecked. The ankle looked
Right.
shattered. I think that would take him nothing less than 2 months, man, to
Oh,
properly come
really? I'm
back from
thinking
that
6
injury.
weeks, but 8 weeks could what 8 weeks to getting match fitness probably. So you're talking, um, 7 games because we do have another, international break in October. So he may miss up to 7 games. That's gonna be the end of our season run because Nwari can't handle that, and and Arteta is not going to change his ways, right? He's just gonna replace the player. I've been begging on this show and other shows for him to go for a 4-2-3-1 formation. I've been begging him to do that. And now with Rice out, I can't see any other way, Tony. We have to play Jorginho and Party in front of the back four to stop this Tottenham attack. They are going to be like a pack of wolves on us on Sunday morning, bro. It's not going to be fun. It's not,
Hmm.
you know. But again, these are the games that we have to get through, and the challenges that as Arteta has to get through as a manager. We prayed to the football gods that Declan Rice isn't injured, right? So that's the thing. He's just missing this game. It's an important game, but in all reality, he's just missing one game, right? Is Odegaard, if we have big games, Tony, is he really that much of a miss? Let me ask you, is Odegaard, and even our friends in the chat, big up always, Thomason and Assembled. Let me ask you guys, is Odegaard really that big of a
Big ups
miss?
the assembled Thomas and
I mean, we need
AFC
to assess
always
how big of a
legends.
miss that is. I'm not so sure it's that big of a miss. I mean, yeah, the pressing's good, the flickety flicky and the hair and getting the crowd wiped up, whatever. But when it comes down to big games, that captain disappears. So, what are we really missing?
Hmm.
Right? We're missing, like I said, we're missing some creativity. We're missing, his tricks, his and some passing. He can shoot. I mean, all the football stuff we're missing, right? But at the end of the day, he is not the captain that has proven to get us through major
Hmm.
games. He has failed at that, and I think there's a part of him that would even,
Hmm.
look in the mirror and recognize that and validate that as well. Odegaard is a decent player. He's good.
I
He's
mean,
good
I don't think he
technically.
looks at himself
I
like
just
that.
don't think he does not have the leadership capabilities to push this squad forward. So how much of a miss is
But
it
I
really?
mean, man,
And I know I'm being cruel,
th-
but it's if you change up that formation, where does he play? If you go the same four, let's say Timber, Starsky and Hutch, and Ben White in the back. Of course, Rhea at keeper. And then you do two midfielders, meaning Jorginho and Party, who can pick out a pass, make a tackle, and slow the game down, right? And then you
But again, but
put
again, these players you've just mentioned, yeah, are defensive-minded midfielders.
but we're away, Tony. We have to have some.
None of them have the creative spark
Oh, no,
that,
I'm not done.
that
I'm not
Martin
done. You put
Odegaard might be able to
well,
wield
let
in the
me finish.
midfield.
Let me finish. Let me finish, bro. So
Come
you
on.
put Sterling on the left, and you possibly put, Trossard maybe as the number 10 and Saka on the right, and Havertz up front. Or you put Trossard on the left, Sterling as the number 10, because we gave him what he's number 30, but he could act as a center mid behind
Again,
Havertz. You can play
I have a problem
4-4-1-1. There's
starting
lots of
Trossard in the
options.
first half.
I do too. Then
I,
put
I have
Martinelli
a
there.
problem starting Trossard in the first half.
I would too.
That-
Okay, then we put Sterling, Martinelli, Sterling, and Saka, and then up front is Havertz. My point,
Oregon,
Tony,
you've
is
not
that it
answered the
can't be
question.
4-3-3.
Oregon, who is to replace Martin Odegaard's spark and trickery in the middle of the park? That's what I'm
Well, it's
asking
not
for.
Emil Smith Rowe.
Who is gonna churn out those those trick pony passes? Those defensive splitting passes. Who's gonna loop? That one ball up for Bukayo Saka to just seize that opportunity, cut into his left hand side and get the ball off. Who is gonna do that? I mean,
That's
of course,
to me,
Odegaard. He has his shortcomings. His
right.
shortcomings is a different affair altogether. Who is gonna give us even the little that Odegaard even gives us?
Trossard, because you would think that he would be the most technical one underneath that, right? And I know he's not starting, but think about this. Our normal back four, Party, Jorginho in front of the back
Trossard?
four.
Oh my days,
Hold on.
man.
Sterling on the left, Trossard is the central number 10, Saka on the right, and Havertz up front. The connection with Trossard in the middle, he would be different than he would play on the left wing. And again, it's not a 4-3-3 setup, so he wouldn't be that wide left. He'd be the central number 10 in a 4-2-3-1, Tony. We could play a 4-4-1-1 with Trossard behind Havertz. And keep our wingers, have it
Behind
Martinelli,
Havertz, right?
Party, Jorginho, and Saka, and then Trossard behind Havertz. But here's my main point. Is if Arteta doesn't mix it up to the strengths that we have with Odegaard and Rice out, and he goes with a 4-3-3, and the only change he puts in there is Jorginho and Nwari, but keeps that 4-3-3 openness in the pitch, open attack, hard to defend, easy to defend against, right? Easy to attack against. If he plays 4-3-3, he will leave us open for a fucking slicing, a carving, bruv, like a Thanksgiving turkey.
He definitely will leave us open. He definitely will leave us
We
open.
have to do
But again, yeah,
in my
look,
opinion, we have to do 4-2-3-1. There's no other formation that solidifies
there's no other
the
way.
back four. There's no other way.
I totally get that.
4-4-1-1. That's what I'm saying. It's all in the formation, bro.
Look at what AFC always says here. Yeah, it says this is what happens when you don't have a proper transfer window. Your squad is inequipped to deal with the injuries and suspensions. I mean, just expatiate on what AFC always is trying to tell these people.
Yeah. Why do we have 3 keepers and 2 windows? What are we doing? What are we fucking doing at this point in time, Tony? 3 weeks into the season, and we have 3 keepers and 2 windows. Always is right. We didn't do the job that we needed to do in the transfer window because we were too busy chasing players down and not saying, oh, maybe this guy just doesn't want to
chasing shadows.
Chasing shadows. I mean, I don't think Edu has a
human shield
clue of who we're going to even remotely get in January. And he needs to be planning that now as we speak. He needs to be talking to those players in January now. That's it. We're running on Maddie's shout Southern Gooner. We are running on hope strategy. We hope Sterling performs. We hope Calafiori performs.
Strategy.
And we don't know Calafiori because nobody's fucking seen him before the Euros, bro. So it just intensifies my anger
Is Calafiori? Wait, Calafiori is even still. I think he
No,
has a
he might be
problem,
okay.
man.
I
People are
think he's
saying he's
okay. He's
coming
not a
back.
knock.
He's
Yeah, I have heard
okay. He
that.
came back to
He's
training.
50-50.
The guy
But it
is not
angers
fully
me
fit.
when it always puts out these things that are
But
100%
again,
correct.
he's not fully
Not
fit.
always. Beyond California, he
Oregon
didn't
Gunner,
do the
he's not
job,
fully
Tony.
fit.
Tony, did you hear this? Man City's already looking at 100 million for Jamal Musiala from Bayern Munich. They're prepared to spend 100 million on Musiala. But the thing is, Tony, they're finding that one player that fits. We're trying to put fucking square pegs
That's
in the
it.
circle holes, bro. They say, "Oh, we need improvement. What do we need? A midfielder. Okay, who's the best? Who give me the Pep says, give me the top three. Musiala's in the top three. How much they want? 100 mil. Put him on the transfer list or put him on the docket. Let's get it going.
Mm.
I get Musiala will be a City player
Mm.
next summer because Kevin De Bruyne's going to get a paycheck in Saudi. I thought he would do it this year. It's going to be next year now. It looks
Definitely.
like
But
definitely
there's no
next year.
doubt. There's
He's
no
not leaving
doubt.
this
A
year.
world class
He's not leaving
manager,
in January.
a fat
Yep.
pocket, trophies in the bag. And
Yep.
definitely, if Guardiola decides
And
to leave the
Musiala
team,
is
they
the
will still bring
absolute
in
perfect
another
fit for KDB.
experienced coach. I
Musiala will
mean,
come in there and do KDB things.
it works in their favor.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Musiala
And
will be the
again,
next
that's what
KDB.
£100 million gets for you.
That's what we
I
need to be
mean,
doing, Tony.
if you go with 100 million, exactly.
For
If you go
Musiala,
to
who's
Bayern Munich
23
and
years
get
old.
Musiala, yeah, for 100 million pounds, yeah, just compare him with Declan Rice. The-
Right.
Way, see,
Levels
it's
over Declan Rice.
totally way
Even though
off
they serve different
because
positions, but in a
that's
way,
what will help.
but
And
still. Right.
Musiala,
Yep. Tony's
Musiala
not maybe
has the
calling him.
skills to
Cut open any defense in the
work his
league.
magic,
Yeah.
in the
You think
Premiership.
Odegaard has
Look at what
magic?
the assembled
This kid's a
says here.
fucking Merlin
Look at
wizard.
what the assembled says here.
Yeah.
Musiala is a baller, AFC always says.
Ah,
The
yeah.
assembled says here, Tony, I'm not sure it's judgment
I
day for
see.
Arsenal more than Spurs. They have a fully fit squad. If Spurs lose, what it says about them against an injury
Good point.
revenge Arsenal.
But the thing is,
But
we're
you
not
know what?
Spurs
Yeah,
fans,
the
though, bro.
Oregon Gunner. I'm more focused on the Arsenal team rather
Same here.
than the sports team.
Right.
Like I care more about. I don't care about what they're offering right now, or maybe if they
Mm-mm.
don't have injuries or whatever. Although I heard that they equally have some couple of players out, but again, I'm not really interested in them. I'm more
Right.
interested in Arsenal not doing business in the summer. Yeah, not bringing in a replacement. Not let's not say a replacement, but someone with with like for like kind of skills, a skill
Right.
set like what Odegaard brings to the table. We don't have that. Merino,
Right.
for me, Merino is a more defensive minded midfielder. So
And
he
he's
isn't a
injured.
replacement for Martin Odegaard in any way. Me and
Right.
you have been here talking
He's
about this type of replacement, Martin Odegaard, and now it has finally happened. No one is down there. In fact, our squad is now even more thin than it was last season when we
right.
went on that title chase head to head with Manchester City. See, Oregon Gunner, 22 players is what we have in our Premier League
One
list
of the
right
smallest in the
now.
league.
Just
Yep.
22 players.
Nothing.
That's the smallest across the Premiership. What do you have
Hmm.
to say about that? Arsenal have grown from a squad lacking in replacement and lacking
Right.
in squad depth to a more weaker team in the next season that was supposed to go head to head with Man City and try to
Right.
wrestle that Premiership title away from them.
Right.
So
Well, I
we've
think
grown more weaker too in our
it
squad
leads to
list,
us not
and they're playing
spending.
like
It's leading us to not spending the right money on the right people. Like, why were we after a keeper from Ajax who's 18 years old? Like, what the fuck are we doing, Tony? Why did we buy Norbert? I know we needed a backup, but at this point, I would have just kept Hein as a backup. He ain't going to get that many games anyway, and he's already kind of in the
I
Arsenal
mean,
way, right, of goalkeepers. But beyond the goal, I mean that to me right there just shows a lack of ambition and a lack of security in your the goalkeeping position. Like, what is David Raya thinking? Number one goalkeeper for Spain now. He's kicked out Unai Simon, right? He's number one goalkeeper for Spain. He had a great game in the Nations League just the other day. Incredible saves. But then we draw. But then
Yeah.
we go by three more. I mean, or two more. I mean, besides that, it's what always said before, and Assemble said many times, and many of our friends in the chat, is that we just didn't do the business this summer. We bought the wrong. We spent so much money on Calafiori, and for what? We didn't need a left back. We don't need a left back, right? We just had Tomiyasu. Got to get him off crutches. Even
No,
though
I
I want
mean,
Zinni to go, but Zinni didn't go,
I have my
right? I mean, we didn't
reservations
even.
about that one. I have my
It's
reservations about that one. You see, Oregon, we have been
yeah,
complaining about Zini not being effective enough down that left hand
right.
side. We did
But we have
need
Timber,
someone to
but now we
come
have
in
Timber back.
and help us out, just in case Zini had a couple of stinkers. And now that we have Calafiori, that's an advantage, a clear advantage. If Zini messes up in any way, we
Right.
have Calafiori to cover up, and on
But
that
we have Timber,
left hand
bro.
side.
Like
So
I would rather
it,
play
it,
Timber than any of
of
them.
course, it becomes a very, very important role to have a
Mhm.
spare player. And Calafiori, look at his performance for Italy in the Nations League. Elite performance. Of course,
But we
that
still end up
injury,
spending 50 million
is
on them,
something
Tony.
different that we have to think about.
But we spent 50 million on them, bro. I mean,
But
and we
I
need a
still think it's
striker.
necessary. Do you know how many times we complained about Zini? But I know, but Oregon Gunner, check out, our season one. See what happened last season.
Mm,
It was stinkers upon stinkers with Zini. We complained bitterly about him. So
right.
if we did bring, Calafiore to help us out in that, it's not a bad thing. And besides, we see, should we be complaining about 50 million pounds? We're Arsenal Football
Yes,
Club. We're
I
rich.
know.
We have the
Oh
money.
no, I
What
get
are we
that
talking
point of it.
about here?
But I am
We have the
complaining
money.
about it
We
because
can
it's
go and bring in players. I
but
mean,
but he's a 30 bro, he's a 30 to 25, $30 million rated player. This is again, we get hung out to dry on some of these transfers because Edu doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You have to play, and I know the price went up because of that other club at Basel and something had some sort of stake in him. And I know there was a whole baggage and drama. But that, in my opinion, says, okay, we
yeah,
have
but
Timber coming back, which I'm sorry, Timber is a new signing this season. We saw him one game last season. So, yes, he is a new signing this season, essentially. And I have more
mm,
confidence in him than I do Zinchenko, than I do Tomiyasu, and than I do Calafiori, whatever the fuck his name is, right? Timber to me is better than all four
Calafiore.
of them. Calafiori, thank you. Shout
Mm.
out Calafiori. But I just think Timber's better than them, right? So I'm going to have Timber in my starting lineup every game until he gets injured because he's better
Okay.
than Zinni.
O-
I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, I know
Oregon,
Timber's not like
what's
he
the
didn't put out a very good
solution now?
display a few times, but he is the solution for me at left back because Zinni ain't cutting it, like you said. Calafiori's up and coming. Maybe there's something there for the future. But 50 million, Tony, we could have put that on a striker that the fan base has clearly demonstrated to this club that we need. Even that plastic Eagle
Mm.
says we need a striker, right? No offense, right?
Plastic
But
goal.
Eagle is the top gooner, guy that we all sort of like laugh at in a way because he's so outrageous. But he would agree that we should have taken, if we had 50 million, it needs to go to a striker. Everyone in this chat would probably agree. If we had 50 million right now in our pocket, we need a striker. So, because Jesus to me is done. Like it is done in January. If he doesn't come back like firing Tony on all cylinders, like I mean,
No,
just
he's.
rampant,
I mean,
then
he's
he has
back.
to
He's
go.
back from injury. He trained at the sober.
Right. He'll probably maybe
He
he'll
trained at the
sub in.
sober training facility yesterday.
Well, we'll see till he gets. It's
I
just
heard
a
he's
matter of
okay. I
time
heard he's
till he
good to
gets
go.
injured again.
This is what is going to
Matter of
happen.
time till he gets
I
injured.
Havertz is going to be drawn to midfield. He's going to be put back in
Oh my
midfield.
gosh.
I think Kai Havertz will play in
Good
midfield to
on the left. You put Jesus up front.
in the weekend. He will play that. He will play that with Jesus up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, but see, yeah, I mean, we have a technical player in Zini. Yeah, Zini plays midfield for creative midfield
He
for
does.
Ukraine. Isn't it time for this manager to look inwards and say, you know what, yeah, let's switch things up, yeah. Zini, come on, man, you're a baller in the middle of the park for Ukraine. You've done this, you're experienced in that side for playing as a creative spark in that team, and you could also go defensive, on defensive mode too, even with clear lapses in your left back positioning. But we can still put this guy in midfield and get something out of him, at least for the next
Right.
coming weeks. Yeah, I know we still have to talk about Wanieri anyway. But what do you
Right.
think about employing Zini to the middle of the park?
I think that if that was
At least it's
Arteta's
tricky with
mind,
his legs, right? He can move, he can run,
yeah,
he can find
yeah,
pocket spaces.
but he can
I
also lose
mean,
the ball,
can
misplace a
that be
pass,
can
get
that be
nutmeg.
sort of a solution?
I think there's more of a downside to Zinni playing than there is an upside, to be
Getting
honest.
nutmeg. Oh my
But my thing is that if he plays Zinni in midfield, right? If he does that, I don't think he will because he hasn't done it at all, right? I mean, he's inverted him, but he's never placed him as the CDM. So I don't know why. I know yourself and other folks in our community have mentioned this a lot, but he would have done that by now, right? I mean, I I think you're right on about the Kai Havertz thing. I have, and then the opposite coin of like what I said earlier, the 4-2-3-1 is he sticks with the 4-3-3 and puts Kai Havertz on the left, and we have, Havertz, Party, and Jorginho on the right, which is much slower, not as creative at Odegaard, but you play that flat three, you're going to slow Tottenham down. I just don't think Jesus is match fit though either. I don't think he's not sharp enough for this matchup. It looks like Assemble is the same thing. It says the same thing. It's just I just don't think he's sharp enough.
God.
He may come on in the 75th or 80th minute, but I don't expect him to score a last minute goal. I just don't think he's ready. But of course he'll be on the bench because we have no other option. But that's if Havertz, the thing is that he's going to go the 4-3-3 route, Tony. He's not going to listen to me. He's not going to listen to anyone else. He's going to keep with the same formation. And now that you mentioned it, he's probably going to put Havertz on the left and Jorginho in the right and Party as the six.
Um,
Or Party and Jorginho
See,
switched around in some way.
Oregon, I've really been thinking now, yeah. Before this injury happened to Martin Odegaard on international duty, yeah, he has already been carrying this injury already. You remember that
Right?
there were news filtering out from the camp, 2 weeks ago that this guy's playing,
He got
with an
nailed at
injury.
first Brighton. Yeah.
Of
That
course, it
Brighton.
wasn't pronounced because they were injecting him with lots of painkillers and stuff like that. But right now, Daniel has come to judgment. He's broken. The ankle is shattered. And I'm sorry,
Oh, I didn't
man.
know that. I thought it was just twisted
When
up
your
really bad.
ankle,
I don't
bro,
think it's broken,
bro,
Tony.
it was on
I
clutches,
think
bro.
yeah, but I think it's what they said was a very severe sprain, and he has inflammation through the tendons and joints of his ankle. So I don't think any bones were actually broken.
I
It's just
mean,
a bad
bro,
twist. But
that's a
maybe there
fracture.
is
I mean, that's a fracture, right?
maybe yeah, it could be a
That's a
slight
fracture.
fracture.
I, I mean, that's a
Yeah,
fracture. So
we'll know. We'll probably know in the
yeah,
next
so when your
24
ankle is
hours.
is fractured, I don't care about the news. Well, human beings, we can
Right,
we can make sense of it all. That guy will miss a good 2 months out of Arsenal games.
possibly.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a tick. That's a tick of the Premiership. We're
Hmm.
done. We're done. Unless we go and sign a free agent that can be able to
What's the
get
deadline for
something
that?
done for us. But again, the Oregon, it takes me back to Oregon. We already knew that he was carrying this injury 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it
Hmm.
only just happened that this bigger one just really happened. He was already playing injured. Do you want to attach these problems to the training methods that we use in at Arsenal? Uh, Just in one day, Merino comes in, tap tap boom, is crashed out.
He
Like,
from what I yeah,
doesn't
he
this send
collided with
doesn't
Gabrielle. I
this
mean,
send shivers down Arsenal fans' throat? Like,
a little
I
bit.
mean, look at Emmy Smith Rowe. That kid
Mm,
never got a break in this football club. But look
Abu
at that
Dhabi.
guy for Fulham. I mean, he's
Yeah,
uninjured. He's okay. He looks good.
so
He's
far.
okay.
Yeah,
He's swerving. He's making moves. He's scoring goals.
got his
He's
socks
back
low.
to his perfect best. I mean, brother, he's looking for pocket spaces. He's scoring goals. He's the talisman
Mhm.
right now. But again, Oregon Gunner, look at Gabriel Jesus. The man can't catch a break. Every time he
Right.
comes in, he's always straight right back into the bean again. I mean,
Mhm.
Thomas Partey, after tomorrow, I doubt if he's gonna come out tomorrow without an injury, man. I mean,
Oh, sh
what is going
yeah.
on with our training methods? Is it that there's
Well,
something going on with our training methods? Is it too hard? Is it too harsh? What is going on that players can't stay fit
I
in our football club?
I'm not sure if it's necessarily like the methods, but it's just the energy that we're putting out in training, right? I think we're so we're so glued to winning this title because we've come so close in the last 2 seasons. And I think like players like Gabrielle, right, who we know has the bozo gene, right? He has a tendency to do something, you know, a little outrageous at times, right? We've seen it over and over in the last 4 years he's been at the club. However, well, from the Gabrielle thing, he collided from what I've heard and read into Marino. Like they collided together. So that's not a method, right? That's kind of an accidental collision. But the thing is that you need to speak to players like Gabrielle and say,
Hmm.
you don't have to go in 100% on every challenge, right? Like let's play, right? That's why let's play the game. Let's not try and go at each other like it's going to
Hmm.
be this Sunday. So I mean, so right there, if it's an
Yeah.
accidental collision, you can't really blame that on the method, right? That's just a pure fateful event. But with the Emerald Smith Rowe thing, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, what were we doing with this kid for the last 5 years? Literally 6, 7 years. Um, we've paid him an
We're
astronomical
being
amount
told
of
he's
money,
injured. We're being told he's injury
and
prone.
right, and
We're being told he
why
has
we
no
just didn't extend
calcium
his
in his
contract.
bones. I
Well,
mean, we've heard everything.
well, yeah, that's the funny thing is, Tony, is that we
Yeah,
paid him more
we've
money
heard
over
no
time instead of
calcium in
just
his
cutting his
bones.
contract.
Yeah,
We
we've
should have
heard
just
it.
cut his contract, and so
I mean,
the thing is, Tony, is that we're stupid. We are a dumb financial run club, right? We gave our biggest sale was what Oxlade Chamberlain for 35 mil, and now Smith Rowe matched that. Um, Eddie would have been a bad option. It's all bad
oh my
options. I
God.
mean, Lakonga. I mean, but back to what you're saying about like the injuries. The Emerald Smith Rowe thing was just a saga that went on and on and on, and the Gabrielle Marino thing, that's just fate, right? But there's a word to be had to Gabrielle because he does have that bozo gene. He does make some mistakes, and he can just go in, too hard most of the time. So there's an element of that, but
Yeah,
man, Tony, I don't know. It's not looking good. But again, it's on Arteta just to find the right formation. I
it's
think with
not
a four, like
looking
I said
good.
before, a 4-3-3 is just too open. It's just
To
too
find the
open.
right formation. Good.
We
We'll,
have to do the
we'll come
4-2-3
back.
with a
We'll come
Partey
back to that.
Jorginho for the back
We'll
four.
come back to
Yeah.
that we'll come back to that because two people that we actually do respect on this channel, are here. The first person down here is Drew Gunners, of course, my graphics guy,
Is that
great
Drew?
guy. I love this guy to the bone. He says here, we are further away from winning the title this season than we were last season. We're back to bare bones. Back to bare bones. You see, the Oregon Gunner, man. Just before we come back to this, to what Drew Gunner says, I have to recognize this lady in the charts. Yeah, come on, guys. Yeah, give it up for Miss Melina, guys. Don't forget, our oldest woman. Part of my allegiance. This lady helped me on this channel. And apart from that, yeah, you guys know her. Yeah, she's a seasoned Arsenal fan, and we love her down here. Always love her. Miss Melina, big up. She says, big up Tony and panelists. Big up to you, Miss Melina. You know we
Oh,
love you down
oh,
here. Anytime I see you down here, I'm happy. I'm so happy to have you down here. Miss Melina, you can't deny this at this time. We're down to bare bones. I mean, there's no El Neni to bail us out right now. There's no Fabio Vieira to to help us out.
right.
Miss Melina, we have to cut the chase right now, call it what it is. We've fluffed our lines in the in the transfer window, and now we're left with bare bones. And these bare bones that we have right now, Miss Melina, they can't take us to the next level. Definitely can't even help us challenge for the title right now. Like, I mean, I want to be positive about it, but what is there to be positive about right now when
Mm,
the only creative spark that you have right now, I mean, is down under. Miss Melina says something. She says, if your team already qualified for international tournaments, players like Palmer fake an injury and go back to your football club. Some of these players just come back from the Euros. After- But she makes sense in this argument
right.
now. Oregon, what do you think? I mean, faking injury. Come on, man. Palmer,
Yeah.
what's this guy in Man City? What's this guy's name? Their
Phil Foden, I
midfielder,
think he was injured as
Foden.
well.
I mean,
He left
this guy's
himself out.
faking injuries. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh,
Odegaard should have done the same, and that's where Arteta,
oh,
again, has
oh.
issues with man management, and you know, I don't mind like Saka playing, of course, Rice playing, but Odegaard, being 22 years old, the captain of Norway, kind of like has to play, right? I mean, it's one of those situations where is Arteta just needs to be a little more vocal
But why
with the
don't we
FA, I
have
guess, and
Oregon?
UEFA, the UEFA
Why
body.
don't we have strategists? Yeah, in our team.
Mm,
Why don't we have
well, the strategists are on YouTube,
strategists in the dark art? Yeah, I mean,
right?
even before this Nations League, we already have Foden pulling out,
Mm,
from the Euros or from everything. They pulled out. Palmer pulled out. Why doesn't Arsenal have this dark art strategist who can do these things? Yeah,
I,
we
I'm not
allow all
sure,
our players go to these internationals. They come back
right?
injured, and even the Norwegian coach was there laughing. I mean, they asked him a serious question about the injury to Odegaard, and this
Mm-hmm.
man was chuckling and laughing. And I was like,
Because he was right because he got crocketed
what is
versus
this?
Brighton.
What is this nonsense?
I don't know. It's nonsense, and I hear what Miss Malia is saying. So I think what she's saying is players coming back from the Euros. Do we need to give them just more time to get completely match fit? And yes and no, because we don't have time. Right? That's the thing. That's the bottom line. We don't have time. And the Marino thing is complete fate. Right? If he doesn't run into Gabriel or vice versa, then he's fine. And it's less of a problem with Odegaard out. But again, it's up to Arteta just to manage this correctly. And our expectations that he doesn't really do that well anyway. That's one of the strikes we've always had against him of joining the club is just
Don't we have a
you know
strategist? Don't we have a strategist? Someone who would
no.
strategically plan these things. Trent was out. He didn't even go to the Nations League. Watkins was out. Like all these teams, they know how to protect their own. But ours, we send them out for the slaughter. And now this is what we've come back with bare bones. Bare bones. The Oregon Gunner, to be very sincere with you, if Mikel Arteta doesn't go with the changes that you said, that you offered down here,
Hmm.
we're in big trouble, man. We are in big trouble because
Right.
personally, yeah, even if we do give Martin Odegaard the stick, I mean, he's our only creative spark, man. I I don't know where that spark will come from. I don't know.
Well, like we mentioned
I,
before,
I don't know.
I still
Literally,
think
I don't know.
we go with Timber and Gabs and Saliba and Benny Blanco at right. We keep our same back
Timber is
four.
defensive. Is defensively minded. The
But we're going to
Timber is
need
the
that,
is
Tony,
a,
because they're going to
see
be on the.
the
Tony, I
only
don't
the
think you
only
understand how fast their attack is and how ready they're going to be up for this game. They're up, bro. Hot number up for this game far more than they were up for, I think, last season. Last season, they just wanted to stop us. This season, they want to bury us. And they're going to take full advantage of every little opportunity they can. And that's why I pray that he goes 4-2-3-1 and puts Jorginho and Party in front of the back four just to slow that attack down. Right? I don't the three attacking mids, I don't care. You could put Sterling on the left, Martinelli on the left. I don't necessarily want to see Trossard there. So that's why I said my attacking four is Sterling, Trossard, and Saka, right behind Havertz. 4-2-3-1. If we do 4-3-3, we open ourselves up to absolutely get slaughtered because we won't have anything. When they drop back in the box, and you always see Odegaard up top, right? When the squad's going a low block defensively, it's Odegaard up top,
yeah.
moving the ball to the left, back to Odegaard, to Saka, back to Odegaard. We won't necessarily have that option. We'll have to play further back because Jorginho can't get that far up the pitch. And like Miss Molina just said, Party just survived 90 minutes. He's not going to necessarily be going up and down, right? So we have to rely on those
We
two
go
in front of the back four just to
exactly.
stabilize the midfield, right? While we are attacking four is
I
up
mean,
there trying to do the business. And it's going to be hard because they're going to be ready for this match, bro. Then as you know, and as everybody in the chat knows, they're ready for this match more than any match. This one on Sunday. This is the one that whole decrepit fan base is ready for. And we don't have our captain.
But you've mentioned Jorginho like nearly up to 3 times in your conversations
I
with
know he
me
slipped last
already on
season.
this show.
Who else do we have?
See, you're talking about Jorginho as if Jorginho. You brought up his name, yeah. How many competitive games has Jorginho played this season?
None. Whose fault is that?
I mean, Oregon Gunnar, he's not match fit. See,
okay, when we go to a 4-4-1,
see, guys in the chat.
It's all in the formation, Tony. It's all in how we set up. If we do 4-3-3,
I know, but he hasn't played a Oregon Gunnar. He hasn't played a competitive game.
Timbers played 2 games.
Does he have what it takes to just throw him in one of the biggest matches that Arsenal have?
What other choice
in
do we
the
have?
history of this league?
What other choice do we have,
big
brother?
matchup, man. But
he's
for
experienced.
Us to throw him to the burning furnace.
I'm not saying Jorginho is the. I'm not saying Jorginho is him, bro. I'm saying that we don't have much of a choice, and you have to have experience for this match. And Wari is not going to be ready for the intensity of this match. Hey, pop him in the 80th minute if we're up 3-1.
But I mean, what is the experience when you're not match fit?
Oh, he's match fit. I mean, in Wari now,
exactly.
I think Wari's match fit, but he's not mentally going to be ready for the amount of pressure this kid's going to have down on him on Sunday morning.
Waneri, good. It's good you brought up this Waneri guy. Yeah? How many competitive games have Waneri played this season? I mean, it's good when you have some couple of youth from the academy that you could bring in and give 10 minutes, 20 minutes to. I mean, this guy hasn't been picked. He hasn't even played the season.
Would you rather have Enwari or Jorginho in there? Would you rather play Enwari or Jorginho, Tony, for a game of this magnitude? And I know Jorginho slipped and all that.
The bigger picture is that we have a whole bunch of players. The reality is that we have a whole bunch of players that haven't even tested game time this season.
We don't have a lot of players.
No one is seeing
in January. We didn't get it done in the summer. Tony, we don't have these players that you're talking about. They're gone. Lukonga is Sevilla. Like, is he going to play Kieran Tierney? I mean, what the hell? I've given you the best formation.
Drew Gunner,
this club for 25 plus years.
Drew Gunner says something down here.
Shout out Drew Gunner, real one.
Drew Gunner says something down here. He says during preseason, everyone was bigging up these youth players. My question now is, where is the confidence for them now?
They're not, as you guys know, they're not going to play in the North London Derby. Right.
I said
Then
it
play
was
him in
too
the
early
Carabao
for
Cup.
them.
Play him in the Carabao Cup. That is the perfect opportunity to play as many youths as Arteta wants to play. Play them in the round that we get into was the fourth, fifth round, whatever. Play them in the first game against. I think we played freaking
But again,
Bolton, don't we?
what about throwing Waneri into? What about throwing Waneri into this not London derby? Like, should we be
No,
ashamed to throw in
no, he
Waneri
shouldn't
into
start.
this not
He
London
shouldn't
derby?
start.
This is being
No,
paid.
no, no,
It's being paid.
no.
I mean, look at City. Yeah,
He
they
can
can
start on
throw
the
in
bench.
Bob
I don't want him to
if they
start.
like. They can throw in Bob if they like.
Don't compare the
Why
two.
can't we throw our
Bob
own
has
youth
levels,
into
bro.
into the burning furnace and let's
Bob
see
is
if he fries in it or
Oscar
if he
Bob
stands
scored
up
goals for
tall?
City last season, though, Tony. Oscar Bob finished off City's season last year. And I know, and
Why
Wari, I
no
get it.
trust in
He's
our
on the bench.
academy players? Why no trust?
Tony, are you asking me or why Arteta doesn't?
I'm asking, Oregon,
Anybody
Oregon,
who
you have the
listens,
answers.
no,
Yeah.
you don't
Unlike
have the
TJ,
answers.
you
I'll tell
have
you
the
what,
answer.
you don't
But
have the answers. Oh shit! Here we go. No,
I
I do
mean,
have the answers. I
guys in
do,
the
and so
chat,
does
talk
everyone
to
in the
us, man.
chat. So do you. So does the assembled. So does Miss Molina. We all have the ideas of what we want to see Sunday, right? We have our preference of players, formations, etc. We have our preferences, opinions of what we want them to do. But the fact of the matter is, Arteta, if he's somewhat smart, will not start this kid in the most high tensive and most intense match of the season so far. That's blasphemy. That's horrible to this kid. Now, like I said, we're up 3-1, 85th minute, 80th minute. Bring him on by all means, right? What's the worst he can really do? Maybe an own goal, or he doesn't track a runner, which
But,
won't happen,
but
right?
again, I've seen Guardiola throwing Bob, and Bob has gone there to do a job. I've seen Pep Guardiola throwing
No,
Rico Lewis into the
I don't
game,
have an
and
argument for that, Tony.
and they
I don't
achieve
have a
something. I
I don't have
mean,
a comment on
how
that.
can
I
we have
can't speak on what Pep
Waneri, who's
Guardiola
a
does.
highly rated youth in this team, and you can't give
Right.
him a run out even in the not London derby? What are we talking about here?
No.
Because
Well, that's where I disagree with you, Tony.
we've
I don't
seen
think
Pep
this
Guardiola
is
do
the
these
game.
things, and it works out.
Hey, again, he can play, Tony. That's where I think you and I have a little bit of a disagreement. Again, I don't mind Nwari being on the bench and coming on if we're up 3-1, 3-0, 2-0 in the 80th minute. This kid cannot start this game. It is too much pressure. Now, if he starts and he scores a worldie and scores a brace, I will happily eat humble pie and put my face in the mud because I will not have all the answers,
Yeah, you eat
right?
that humble pie.
But that's football, right? But I'm just thinking for this specific game, which the 3 points is a mandatory,
Mm.
right? A draw does nothing, and a loss absolutely does, nothing for us. We have to get the 3 points. And I'm sorry, I'm going to
Mm.
go with experience and Jorginho before I put this 19-year-old kid on the spotlight to do Odegaard things that Odegaard sometimes can't even do. Right? So you're
Good.
expecting Nwari to
See,
replace our
BX
captain in
good.
a sense, right? Right?
Good.
So you want him to be
BX
captain
Gunner,
things,
you're in the charts now.
but not BX Gunner, legend.
BX Gunner, just before I allow Oregon Gunner to keep going, yeah. BX Gunner, you're in the charts now. Yeah, and this is the thing, yeah. That's why I've always preached for our fan base to come together and let's have a holistic conversation. God knows I respect BX Gunner. But whenever we talk about signings, this, that, he's not having it. He's not having it. And that's always been my problem. Now, look at where we are right now. Be holistically, be explained. Look at where we are right now. Are you thinking anything about positive fan, negative fan? No, we're all there. The whole fan base is wrecked right now with the whole injury mess we're in right now.
Right.
Wouldn't it have
But
benefited
Rice
you
is
as a
specifically
gooner?
that injury.
Wouldn't it have benefited me as a gooner if we had all our choppers on deck? I know you're American, you know what I'm talking about. You have to have your choppers on deck. We don't have any choppers on deck.
think you're breaking up, Tony, a little bit. Look, someone donate to Tony's
I
Wi-Fi.
think I'm back.
That's okay.
BX Gunner, yeah, you American, yeah. You know what it means to have all no replacement, no deck, right? Squad players, 22, one of the smallest in the league. Shocking. No one is coming out now for Rice. No one now is coming in for Odegaard. No creative spark. And even if I've criticized Rice this season, but I don't think there's anyone at his level right now at the football club. Merino is injured. I can't say the same. Miss Melina has just talked about Thomas Partey and what happened in Ghana, right? I'm not sure he's up to speed to take over from Rice right now. We're
Mm,
screwed. There's no negative, positive fan right now. We all screwed in it. So
right.
that's why when we're talking about signings, when we're talking about cover, when we're talking about competition across priority areas in across the pitch, in this team, it's something that the whole fan base should be talking about. But instead, we're infighting with each other while we don't have replacements for these guys. Okay, now that other God is out, are we talking about negative or positive, or are we talking about who's going to be there for us to go out and win this game against Tottenham, which is the real
Right.
topic we should be talking about. We don't even have a competitive striker to even get goals for us, so we're not even talking about the goals right now. We're all focused on Odegaard and the creative
Right.
spark in the middle of the pitch. I mean, that's what we're talking about. So, I mean, Oregon, Gunnar, do you want to add something to this? Because, of course, I know you've had a couple of run-ins with Bix Gunnar, and of course, we do respect
No,
him. He's one of the
no, of
first
course.
people to come down here and
Everybody.
help me out too, in the charts. But I mean, this is what we're left with: a wrecked team, weakened team. We have a weakened team right now.
Well, I mean, if I'm Arteta, I tell those national coaches that no, Rice isn't available and Odegaard is not available. Sorry. I mean, Arteta has that power. If Pep Guardiola has it for Foden, when we should use it for Rice and Odegaard. So that's the first thing. But hey, my opinion's different than everybody's in some way, shape, or form. If it's BX Gunners or Miss Molina's or Assembled or whoever, I mean, everybody's opinion has value. We all want the same thing. We just have different ways of going about it, Tony. But I know one thing for sure is that you know if this Nwari kid does get the direct spot of Odegaard and starts the match, he's going to be under a lot of intense pressure, and I don't think that's fair to do for him just yet. Like you said, Tony,
A
he's
lot of
not
pressure,
match.
right? Yeah.
He's not prem ready yet, right? Yeah, I would give him some games in the Carabao Cup, maybe an FA Cup run. We got, I think, Bolton coming up in the next couple 2 to 3 weeks, right? So let him play, let him start and play the full 90 against Bolton. Then we'll see. But this game is going to be, I think, just a little bit too much for Nwari.
Then we see what we
And
have in our hands, right? But
again,
again,
if
he's
we're up
been
2-1
training.
or three
Again, he's
one,
been training. He's been
right? Oh,
training,
I
and
know.
I
They
think he
all have
has the
been.
zeal and the motivation.
Yeah, right.
We have to throw him at some point
But
into this frying
are you
pan, right?
are you saying, Tony, you put him in your starting 11 right now for Sunday? Is that what you're saying?
No, see, because I'm struggling to find.
Big up
I'm
NEC, big
struggling
up
to
Paul.
find who would replace Martin Odegaard. I mean,
But that's what I mean. You want
yeah,
him.
big
You
ups
really
Paul,
are.
big
You
ups
are prepared.
MUFC Global. That's my guy, my
You're
brother.
prepared to
Big
put
up.
him directly in for Odegaard to start the North London Derby this Sunday. You think Inwari is ready for this sort of pressure and this sort of match? And remember, it's there. It's not at home, right? Where there's a little bit of give.
So who? So I want to know who's that creative spark. We need a creative spark.
It's
Who is
it's
that
a four.
creative midfielder to help us out?
It's a four. Again, it depends on the formation. 4-2-3-1. you put Trossard as the number 10. And you put Sterling on the left and Saka on the right.
Trossard in
Trossard
the
is the
first
10,
half.
and Havertz is the
Trossard
starter.
in the first half. To do
Trossard in a
what?
central attacking role, not on the wing. Trossard in a central attacking role, not on the wing, out wide, where he's got a lot of space to move, obviously, but isn't always the most productive. But as a number 10,
mean,
he is the second most, third most technical player on the squad. Trossard has played
yeah, I know,
central
but
attacking
I'll
mid for
prefer him
Brighton.
coming from the bench because I'll prefer him
Okay.
coming from the bench
Hey, put
in the
Martinelli.
second half.
Right. The problem is in a 4-2-3-1, who's the number 10, right? You can put
Martinelli.
Martinelli on the left. You can
Martinelli is
put,
as good as injured.
no,
Martinelli is as good as injured. I mean, with the stinkers. Come on, man.
Isn't injured though.
He's as good
Right.
as injured.
Oh, it's just sorry. Okay.
I mean,
So play Sterling on the left. Then you want to put Saka in the middle and Jesus on the right and Havertz up front? Or do you want to, I mean, you've got to use a little logic here, right, Tony? I mean, like, if he even does a 4-2-3-1, right? If he even picks that formation, who's your attacking four with Odegaard out? To me, it's Trossard or Havertz. Do you want it Saka? I mean, Sterling, Havertz, Saka, and then Jesus up front with, you can go 4-4-1-1 with Havertz right behind Jesus, or Havertz up top and Trossard behind. I mean, this is again, we're going back to when we started the show. These are the options.
Behind Jesus.
You could do that as well, a 4-4-1-1. But here's the thing, and I know, and the chat knows Arteta isn't going to creatively think like that. He's not going to do any of that I just mentioned. He's going to stick to a 4-3-3.
He's
going
not.
to find
He's
some way.
not going to do it.
Havertz,
That's why I'm laughing. He's not going to do it.
He puts Havertz in the midfield. I can see him playing Havertz.
He puts Havertz in left center mid.
Jorginho as a midfield three. I can see that because he'll just put Jesus up front and problem solved. Martinelli on the left or Trossard, doesn't matter, right? That's not an issue for us because they're not the players out and injured. No one's replacing each other. But again, my disagreement would be putting Nwari starting away at Tottenham. It's suicide for that kid. 80th minute, hey.
No. The only reason why I was talking about Nwaneri, the only reason why I was talking about Nwaneri is because I've seen Pep Guardiola. I mean, when you're going against the best in the league, yeah. I mean, we've chased them for two seasons going back to back.
Right.
I mean, when you see Guardiola, yeah, you see the kind of youth he puts into his team, and you see how he urged them to keep going. You see when he uses Bob. You see when he uses Rico Lewis.
Tony. But those are like later in the season when they've already won it, bro. I think what you're saying, bro, is listen. He's not going to play Oscar Bob against Liverpool if he has a fit Savio, right? Let's be realistic. He's not going to play Oscar Bob on the left if he has a fit Grealish or Doku, right? He's going to play Oscar Bob when they go to Southampton. He's going to play Oscar Bob when they go to Everton. He's going to play Oscar Bob when Everton comes to the Etihad. I mean, you got to think of your competition, bro. He's not going to throw Oscar. If you could, fuck United for right now. You've got to say that Liverpool are City's main rival, right? I know United are blah blah blah, but Liverpool really are City. United are so bad.
Oregon is pissed off.
Yeah, sorry MUFC, but United aren't even moving to the conversation right now. So you've got to figure that City's real rival in the Prem is Liverpool at this current moment in time, right? He is. If they're playing Liverpool away, he is not fucking playing Oscar Bob on the right, bro. He is not, unless the season's done. They've got major injuries, and Oscar Bob is the only option. In the week 4, and I know Pep Guardiola in a huge game, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, if they had to go to Liverpool, I'm sorry, Oscar Bob does not start. And either should Nwari this weekend against Tottenham. I mean, that's the severity of where I'm coming from.
Okay, good. Now, this is just the North London derby we talked about.
Fall like a jackass. What's that?
You know what? Yeah, this is just the North London derby we've talked about. we still have
Right.
bigger fish to fry. I mean, Atalanta
Right.
in the
Let's
Champions
get
League,
into it. And then
bigger fish
City.
to fry. I,
Right.
I mean,
Right. Right.
see,
If we don't beat
Oregon
Atalanta, then
gonna
we're really, really, really in bad shape. I know. It's peak, bro. It's peak.
see,
And I
yeah,
don't have all the answers.
see, yeah. Is sitting, Arsenal is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Uh,
And we
we
are the
might literally
cannons.
be
You
in
know?
pepper soup in the middle, in the middle of September.
Don't have all the
I
answers.
mean, see, literally by the end of September, we could crash and burn at the end of
Yep.
September.
We
I
would
mean, we could crash and burn at the.
stagnate in fourth.
Yeah, Oregon, yeah. This is not far from reality, man.
No,
If
it's
we
not.
go and face Man City with this kind of team, that we're gonna be smashed up like
No,
basement
Odegaard.
boys.
Odegaard's out for
We're
sure.
gonna be smashed up. If we
Yep.
go, if we think of their showing up, you know, with this kind of team against Atalanta, we're done. We'll be fried. I mean, in this not London derby, I
Possibly.
don't even have any
Possibly.
chest that we're gonna
Right.
even get a draw. I think we're gonna be beaten, man.
Really. At Atalanta, you're talking now.
I
City,
think we're gonna be beaten.
I'm very dreadful of City.
No, no,
I think
no.
City's gonna.
Even in the not London derby, bro,
Oh yeah,
I
no, me
think we'll be
too.
beaten. Don't forget, we're
Um,
going away from home. We're not at home. We don't have the home
right.
support.
My prediction for
And
the
we don't
North
have
London
the
derby.
spine of our midfield. We don't have our captain going down there with us.
Right. My
No
prediction for
creative
the
spark.
NLD on Sunday
Nothing.
is 2-2. I think it's going to be 2-2. I think we're going to go up. They're going to go tie it. We're going to go up again, and they're going to tie it, and it's going to be 2-2. And I think we're going to give up a goal in the late of the game for them to tie it. That has 2-2 written all over it, bro. Or 1-1. I mean, neither
Big
way.
up MEFC Global.
I'm put this. You can put this. You can clip it, play it, and repeat. I am never ever going to predict Tottenham will win over Arsenal away, or definitely not at home ever. I will never predict that. It's either going to be a draw or a loss for them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it sounds bold. I know, but the thing is, Tony, it's all, as you know, you follow
It's
football long enough.
MEFC Global. He's trolling down,
Back
man.
for
He's a
2.
Man
I'm down with
United.
that
He's
too.
my
Who are the
brother
two
too, man. Big
strikers?
ups MEFC Global, man. I miss this brother,
If
man.
we go 4-4-2, who do we put up there, Drew? You want Saka
Hmm.
and Havertz up there? Who do we play on the right? There's Hendon. Big up, buddy.
See, Oregon,
It's
Gunner, man,
all the
we're
formation, bro.
screwed, man. We
4-3-3,
are
we get
screwed.
nailed. Yep.
We are so screwed. I mean, see, the conversation has totally gone away from we needing a striker,
Right.
of which Kai Havertz has been leading the line, to
2 goals this
totally a
season.
different priority area in our.
Right.
We've totally gone like it's just as if that striking problem never existed. Right now, we're now talking about Martin Odegaard. We are this screwed. This is how screwed we are.
But like I said before,
Oregon, we don't have a
I would,
natural replacement for
Odegaard
Martin Odegaard.
sometimes, Tony,
When I
I
was
don't.
saying this thing in the transfer in the summer, people said, "Oh, Tony's looking for likes." Right now, no one is saying that. Right now,
Right. No one's looking for likes now
no
because there's
one
nothing
is
to
saying
like.
it right now.
Right. Right. Oh, I get it. And I've said from
It's,
shows with TJ,
I mean,
been on the
no one is
press,
talking about the likes right
we've
now.
needed a
We're all
top
talking
sub
about the
for
gap we
Odegaard.
have in midfield.
Right. 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 We've needed a top sub for Odegaard. We need a great player to come in like a Musiala, right? Even though he's not going to sit the bench. But I'm going to go back to what I said before. We've seen Odegaard absolute drop shitters in big games. So it's like kind of a point to where is he really that missed? If you do 4-2-3-1, right? Bear with me for a second, Tony and chat. The same back four with Timber, let's say, on the left, Starsky and Hutch in the middle, White on the right, and you put Jorginho and Party in front of the back four, and you put Sterling, Trossard, and Saka, and then Havertz up front, That's the only way you beat this club. It's all in the formation. The 4-3-3 will not work. We don't have the creative spark. We may have it defensively. We can drop those three midfielders back.
Yeah.
But then there's no then the gap is too open between the midfielders
there's no
and the strikers,
spine.
right?
I mean,
And
there's no spine.
Right.
There's no
That's why we
spine.
need Jorginho and
There's no
Party
ball
to slow
carrier.
down
We have no ball
everything.
carrier. No
Right.
spine.
And but Trossard at a 10 can do that, even though we don't rate him as a starter. But again, he's been starting on the left wing in a 4-3-3 the last 2.5 years. If and only if Arteta changes it to a 4-2-3-1 and puts Trossard as the 10 and the attacking 4, then I think we will actually have a chance to play our game and tear Romero a new asshole, because he will not be able to deal with Trossard and Havertz at the same time. Again, it's up to Arteta to play that formation. It's up to Arteta to put those players in there, because we know on the left that Sterling can do something.
Oregon, do you think he's going to do it?
I don't care.
Do you think he's going to do it?
No.
I don't think he's going to do it. He's a stubborn manager.
And
he's not going to do it.
Up top. We're going to see Havertz, Party, and Jorginho as our midfield 3. And we're going to see probably, I would think, Sterling, maybe. Sterling or Trossard.
But if Kai Havertz, again, if Kai Havertz plays in... Kai Havertz might play in left centre mid. He might play in left centre mid, and we've seen him dish out stinkers as a left-sided central midfielder. In fact, let's just forget it.
We have options.
He's not good enough on that area.
It's doom and gloom at the same time, Mahoney. But if you mix the players around properly and you play to their strengths, we can beat this team.
To their strengths,
we can have. We got to play to our strengths. And like I said, like Hendon says, I was being overblown. Exactly. That's part of my point as well, Hendon. It's like, what are we really missing? He doesn't show in big fucking games. So, I mean, is he that much of a miss? The pressing, the passing, the twinkle, twinkle. I get it. We moved to some of that.
It's easy to say that.
Do that shit as well. Trossard is a central attacking mid left winger. He plays both positions. He can
Oregon Gunner,
but not in a 4-3-3.
Oregon Gunner. This weekend, Oregon Gunner, this weekend, you are going to see that gap in midfield.
You are
this weekend. You're going to this weekend. You are going to see.
Thank you, MUFC.
This weekend, you are going to see. This weekend, you're going to see what Martin Odegaard has been doing in this team, and it's not like he's doing it at an optimal level. He's not. But you're going to see it. We're going to miss him greatly. It's going to be evident for all to see.
Maybe.
I mean, he's not doing it to his optimal best, Hendon Gunner, but we are going to see that gap. We're going to see it. We're not going to see some of those, some of those careful flicks, some of those splitting passes. We're not going to see any of them.
4-3-3, your midfielders have
even if it's about the formation, then who's going to create?
Trossard is the
I get that, but who's going to create?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just like putting some. I mean, when you say it's going to be based on the formation, then who is going to take that mantle of distributing the ball? I mean, there's none. We don't have a natural ball carrier apart from Odegaard and maybe a Declan Rice. Who? Thomas Partey, but I think is limited in his movement.
The ball carrier is irrelevant if Trossard can track back a little bit. If they're in a 4-2-3, we just need Jorginho to pick out that pass, which we know he can do. We just got to keep him on his feet, right? Don't slip and don't get nervous with the ball. If you're uncomfortable, just pass it back. I know, but that's last season. You can't. We can't say, Jorginho slipped last season, so he's.
Well, again, this is the North London
That makes no sense. right?
But again, this is
But
the not London Derby. They're gonna be running. This is the not
right,
London Derby. They're
and
gonna
it's
be
going to be up
running.
to
They're
Claudio
gonna be
Giorgino
running.
to
It's gonna be
slow
fast
that
paced.
down.
And
That's my
I
point.
don't think
Slow
Jorginho.
them down. Get the ball. Curve out of
Yeah, I
right,
don't think
10,
Jorginho
15
can
yards.
cope.
I don't think so either, Tony. That's a
I
whole
don't
nother
think Jorginho
discussion.
can cope with the
I'm
pace.
just saying the name because that's who we
Yeah,
have.
and mind you, Oregon, we've
And
completely thrown out the
we
window
need experience in this game.
That Jorginho gave up a goal
He
against
did.
Tottenham Hotspurs. Have we totally forgotten
Tony,
about
I
that?
understand. Tony, but he
Because it
slipped
was
and
so
fell.
slow.
The chances of him slipping and falling Sunday is like getting
What are
struck
the
by fucking
chances he's not
lightning,
going
bro.
to slip?
I mean, if he falls again,
What are the
then
chances he's not going to
I'm
slip
probably heading
again
to Vegas.
and
I'm gonna
fall
start playing
again
the lottery more,
and
start
give him?
gambling a
I
lot
mean,
more.
that was the not
But let's
London
be
Derby.
realistic. He's probably not going to slip again.
I mean, that was
Like
the not London Derby. What are the chances he's not going to slip again and give them a goal?
Tony's going into conspiratorial
I mean,
theories.
Oregon. He
I know
slipped in
it
our
should
home.
happen.
This is
He
away.
did. I you don't have all the answers,
It's
Tony.
gonna be fast paced.
It's going to be fast. That's my point. Like I
Oregon gonna.
said, that's where you need Party
I'm
and
just
Jorginho
saying that
slow
we're
that attack
screwed.
down. Make them
No
second
matter
guess
how we
what they're
spin it,
doing.
we're screwed.
It has to, dude. We need two CDMs in this game. Madison's going to be up for it. Kulu's going to be up for it. I think Solanke's injured,
Oregon,
from what I heard. So I don't know if that's true. Put it in the chat if Solanke's
Dow,
injured or not. I've
Dow,
heard a rumor
is
that
there any free agent?
free agent.
Dow, is there any free agent in the market that we could go get? Any free agent that we
Well, it
could
would have
go
been
get to
Osimhen, but
help
we
us
fucked that one
because
up.
right now it's become a case of SOS.
I don't
I
know many
mean,
free agents. The only one
who
that
do you
comes on the
think is
top.
in the market that we could go get?
I don't know for sure, but MUFC hit the nail.
I'm
The only
hearing
player I know
Adrian
is
Rabiot.
Rabio. He's the only. Is he the only one with
Adrian
quality out there?
Rabiot. I heard he's a free agent.
I don't rate him, but he's better than Lakonga. I don't know what the free agency list is, but I have heard of Rabiot as a free agent now from Juve, 29 years old. Yes, experience, depth. I would actually take a punt on him, but I'm sure, like our friend MUFC, I'm sure he'll go to United first. Because Arsenal don't pull the trigger. We'll be in for him, and then United will be in for him. United will say, "We'll sign here," and he'll go, "Okay." And Arsenal will be left there holding, a piece of paper with their dick in their hand. So, I have no confidence, Tony, that we are going
Oregon
to really get the signings in we need before. When's the free agency end? The end of September or something like that? I don't know. I know sometimes you can bring a player in after the window, but I think it's pretty rare. It's already 11 days in now. We're not getting anybody
Oregon in our left back position. In our left back position, who do you want to see there? Do you still want to see Jurien Timber? In that left hand position.
Yep.
So you don't want to see him being employed in the. You don't want to see him go to that defensive midfield slot, protecting the back four instead, and put Zini down there in left back position.
No.
No.
I don't want to see Zini at all. He's too much of a liability. And again, we touched on him. I know he plays, like you said, in the Ukraine. He plays in the midfield. If that was the case, Arteta would have played him there over the last 3-4 years, and he has not played him there once. So my thought is he's not thinking about that at all.
Dow, tell us your first 11. Tell us your first 11 for Arsenal.
First 11, okay.
In the weekend, come weekend.
I'm absolutely going for. I'm absolutely going to go 4-2-3-1 with David Raya in goal, Timber on the left, Saliba, Gabriel in the middle, and Benny Blanco on the right. And my two midfielders.
Take it slow. Take it slow for the fans to hear. Take it slow for the charts to hear. Don't mumbo jumbo them. Come on, man. Don't do that abracadabra, man. Speaking a language.
So I think Timber in the left because and I'll give you little reasons for each. We got lots of time. Timber because I think he's better than Zinni. Tomiyasu's injured. And Calafiori is, I think, still kind of probably slightly knocked a little bit. And I don't think Calafiori is quite ready for the pressure of this game. So that's why I'd put Timber on the left. Of
mm,
course, Gabriel Saliba, they speak for themselves, right? And on the right, I got to go Ben White.
mm.
And to be honest, Ben White's had a pretty good season so far. He's been one of the least talked about players around in the community. We haven't really dived into his
Yeah,
performances
not
over the
bad,
last three
not
or four
bad.
weeks because he's not doing anything wrong. So shout out Ben White. That position is absolutely his in every way,
Mm,
shape, and form. Again, as 4-2-3-1 is
mm.
what I think the formation should be. And I'm going to go Party and Jorginho just to have that stability, that strength, and
Who are
they
you
can
gonna
play.
have up front? Who are you gonna have? Who's your number 9? Who's gonna be up front for you?
It's got to be Kai Havertz
Yeah,
for my
because he
mid.
has the
For my,
pace. He's gonna be chasing those loose
and
balls.
he's match
He's gonna
fit,
be
right? I don't
pressing
think
harder up
Jesus
the
is.
pitch.
Yeah, yeah, and I think and obviously he's been playing games. He's playing the Nations League. Jesus hasn't touched a ball in weeks. Jesus is
I
not
mean, he
match
could
fit.
as well get injured in that
So
matchup, man. He could
right,
even get
exactly.
injured in training
If if
before he
ha-
even plays the
if
game.
we're if by the grace of God we're up 3-1 or 3-0 there, I don't have a mind, 85th minute bringing Jesus on just to get some match fitness.
Oregon
But
Gunner 3-1. Are you
I said if the
Oregon
grace of
Gunner?
God. I said if
Oregon,
we did it last
Oregon
season,
Gunner,
right?
the
The last
chest you have for this game,
we did it
man.
last season. I
I'm
thought it was
surprised
3-1.
where this
2-1.
chest is coming from, man.
I said, okay, if we beat them, if we're up 1-0, okay, if we're up 1-0, 85th minute, put Jesus on. Put in Wari on. Fine. I don't know. It
Mm,
depends on the tempo of the
mm,
game. Maybe that's not a good idea. But my midfield three, I'm really kind of stuck at, right? So we've got the back four,
mm.
we've got Jorginho, we've got Party, and we got Havertz up top. Those attacking three mid, I think really any combination as long as Saka stays on the right. Um, I think I really want to see Sterling, Trossard, and Saka. I think
Mm.
Martinelli's kind of a crossroads, like we've talked about, and I don't know if
Oh,
he's the right player
stinkers.
to start
I
to
mean,
get us
I mean
right. I
those
don't know if
stinkers,
Martinelli's
man.
going to get us that end product that we need. We know he's going to dribble. We know he's fast. We know he's going to, be trying to whip some balls across the
How
face
about
of goal.
putting him up front? How about putting him, slotting him into that number
I would
9
love
position?
that too, but I'm trying to be realistic in that Arteta's never done that, right? And I don't think he's going to go that far out the box, right? I would love to
Mm.
see Martinelli up front. Trust me, believe me, I've been a leading advocate for that for a while, right? But this season and
Yeah.
last season hasn't really proven that he could put the ball in the back of the net, right? I mean, 6 goals last season
Mm.
compared to the season before, he had 15. But then, like you've talked about and I've talked about, he had Kai Havertz at left mid for 3/4 of the season behind him, chasing, running around like a
Yeah.
fucking donkey. So there's a lot of leeway I give Martinelli and why he didn't do what he should have done last season. But this season, hey, there's nothing holding him back. There's nothing keeping him from doing what he needs to do. The fact of the matter is he's slightly out of form and he's slightly out of
Yeah.
confidence. And it even hurts his
Mm.
confidence more when he sees Trossard scoring. However, you could still start him on Sunday on the left. You can put Trossard in that midfield three as the number 10. You can.
Mm.
I think it would work. Would it? Again, and I know we get under thinking that if he starts, he doesn't perform because of the last few games we've seen, right? Trossard's the guy that comes on,
Yeah.
scores the impact goal, wins us the game. But this game's a little different, right? I mean, we don't have two of our best midfielders, so we have to improvise a little bit. And improvisation is not one of
We have
Arteta's
to
key
improvise.
traits, right? He's not an improviser.
Mm.
He sticks with what he
You
thinks
know,
works all
yeah,
the
yeah. It's
time.
not part of his biggest strength, his big
Right.
strength,
And
right?
so if he even
Mm,
goes
yeah.
4-2-3-1,
But
I
again,
would be surprised.
look at this Hendon Gunners comment. Look at this Hendon Gunners comment. Yeah, I don't think we will miss him. Tony. We will miss Rice
Right.
more. But again, compare and contrast this. Yeah, Argon Gunner. Who are we going to be missing more in this team? Are we going to be missing Rice more
Yes.
or
Oh,
Odegaard?
for sure.
Me
No,
personally, I
Rice.
think it's
Rice.
Odegaard.
Oh,
I mean,
really? Okay,
again,
I understand
again,
that.
I'm not saying he's the
You
best.
have
I'm
to
not
have
saying
creativity.
he's.
You have to have
I'm not.
creativity.
But again, he's the only one. He's the only one in that position.
I
Declan
think you
Rice,
would. I
other people
think
can do his
Tony.
job. Thomas
I
Partey
think
can do his job. Uh,
uh,
Julian Timber can do his job.
that's why I'm
If
saying
you put
Trossard's the
Zini there in
closest
the middle of the
one.
pitch, he can do a job for us.
But
Calafiori,
let me
as
ask you this, Tony.
can even go there. Ben
Tony,
White can go there. He can
let me
play
ask you
this
this. What if
defensive midfield.
let me Tony? Let me ask you
But
this.
no
Don't
one
you
can do
think
what Odegaard might be able to do.
you don't think Trossard can do a bit of what Odegaard can do? The ball through the legs, spit it out. I mean, Trossard literally
I
got
think he
himself
can
out of
do
three
it.
Aston Villa
I,
players 2 weeks ago. I mean, he's tricky
no,
with the ball. You've
I
seen
know
it.
he can. No, he can. But I'm more, I'm more concerned about his first half form. And again, I'm also more
Which is
concerned
which is which
about
I
Arsenal
understand.
not
Yeah.
having anyone to bring in from the bench in the second half, because you have to
That's
play as a
I
chess
think so.
game. If you
Right.
let all your
That's
guns go in the first half,
right.
which other guns do you have? Mostly when your team is short,
True.
you're just 22. You've sold Fabio Vieira, you've sold Eddie Nketiah, you've sold Emmy Smith Rowe. You even have human shields on your bench
Tanya's
again.
gone, but he's
So
better. Yeah.
if the human shields are all sold, I mean, we're just there with an open roof convertible car that- with a with an almost knocked engine.
Six shots.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I I get your point. I
it meant
fully
the
understand
wheels
your
to keep
point.
falling. I mean,
But Tony, but I think myself and Hendon's comment back to you and saying that you think Odegaard is that and I know and Hendon in the chat know that Odegaard does have tendencies to disappear. And and that's the thing. So obviously it's like, so to Hendon's
absolutely,
point, is it that big of a
absolutely.
miss? I
That's
mean,
another thing.
what are we really missing?
It's not big.
The
Yeah. I agree.
right, and that's the other
Mm,
side of the coin, right? Is that is if Odegaard is either
I
he's
agree.
fantastic or he's shit. There's really no gray area or middle ground with this guy. And we
No, it's
have given
shit.
him you've given him 5 and 6 ratings. I've given him 5 and 6
Yeah,
ratings, but that just means he did something, right? Not even necessarily his job.
yeah.
Like even Hendon saying he's not a game changer, right? Rice is a game changer. We scored Rice, 89th minute, Man United. Bam. Dude, I lost my mind. I was jumping up and down. I about
Yeah,
threw the remote at
yeah,
the
I
building,
know, but
right? And Rice is an engine. He can go
I
box
know
to
he's not
box.
a game
He can
changer,
settle back.
but
He provides that attacking edge on the
I
left
know,
side when it's
but
5-3-3.
sometimes he's. But again, that's the problem when he's your only creative spark in the middle of the pitch. And again, mind you, I need not tell you that Mikel Arteta demands so much from him that he has to
Right.
glue the midfield. He has to carry the ball from our defense. He even comes back down to our defense to be the ball carrier and try to distribute the ball from the back at times.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has to go back
And he can
again
do it.
and try
Yeah.
to, help out in defensive duty. So, I mean, it's not far from reality that this guy, we might just really see what we're really not seeing in him
Right.
in the first place before the
Right.
injury. So
Well
I
said.
don't know. It's a two-way thing. Sometimes it disappears,
It's a
but
double-edged
again, you
sword,
just
is
know
what
that
we say
there's
in
some.
America. It'll cut you either side.
But again,
Right.
there's
And
some
again,
internal job he does in that team that maybe we're not really looking
it,
at. But again,
it
man,
all roots back though,
either way,
Tony.
we're
I mean,
screwed.
where we agree the most is it all comes back to not doing transfer window business. That's the
Window, yeah.
core point of all of this. We don't have the squad to compete. We don't have enough,
Mm,
and the quality we have is not good enough. At least that we've
it's not
seen.
good enough.
There's no guarantee Marino's going to hit the ground running. There's no guarantee Odegaard's
Mm,
going to be the same Odegaard in 6 weeks, right?
yeah,
Rice may have a
I
stinker of a
agree.
season. It could happen. Jorginho
Mm.
injured, slipping again. Party could get injured during training,
Any
right?
given day.
Saliba's getting his
Any
head
given
turned by
day.
Madrid as we speak. You don't think
Oh,
he is going to be Madrid's top target next summer? I 1,000% guarantee it.
def-
Definitely. Saliba
definitely,
is gone next
definitely.
summer if we
If
don't
we don't
win
win any trophy, he's gone.
the title.
No, no,
Table Cup, he's gone. FA Cup,
If
he's
we don't
gone.
win any trophy,
The
he's gone.
title. No. The trophies, Tony. A title or Champions League. Open Cup ain't fucking keeping him, bro. An FA
If we
Cup
don't
ain't
win it,
keeping him.
he's
And Madrid's
gone.
going to go throw 300 bags at him, bro. So Saliba is going this summer, not this summer 2025. It's written in the stars. If we don't win a
I
Prem
mean,
title, there'll be
man,
no reason
and
for him to
it's
stay
not
here.
it's not far
I
from
would be
reality.
surprised if Gabriel's like fuck it too, and goes off to Liverpool, United,
Trust me.
Aston Villa. Gabriel could go to
I
Aston
mean, it's
Villa.
not far from reality.
It's not far from
I
reality.
mean, it's not far from reality. But
It's not.
Oregon Gunner, I like conspiracy theories, right? What if Calafiore is the replacement for William Saliba? What if Saliba wanted to leave this summer
Oh,
and
no.
then Mikel Arteta said and begged, please don't leave me like this. Wait till next season. I'll sign in someone, help steady the
Yeah.
ship, and next season you can leave to Real Madrid. How about that? And Arsenal just got their replacement for William Saliba. He might literally leave next season, man.
Right. So Calafiore, the bloke from Bologna, right?
It's
While William
possible.
Saliba wasn't, William Saliba's Clairefontaine trained since he was
The
10 years
bloke.
old.
Oh,
Mbappe, he went to
why does
Clairefontaine, the
that
French
sound
Academy
so
of
funny?
World Football, right? I
The
know it sounds
bloke.
funny, but he went to Clairefontaine. Let's be real. Calafiore, did he even go to any sort of like academy? I mean, he must have in some way. I mean, it's just I've never heard of this guy since the Euros. And I don't see we did not need a left back anyway. I mean, we do, we don't. I mean, it wasn't. It was Tony before the transfer windows,
Finish.
before the Euros. On this show here, we were not talking about getting a new left back. We were talking striker, 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 striker. We were not talking about left back. Right in May.
Again.
Right after the end of the season. The show we did the 3 days after the end of the season, were we talking about a left back from that Bologna that just had an amazing season that we all missed out on, and he's going to have a great year. Watch this Calafiore, guys. He's really good. No, those conversations were never had in this community in any way, shape, or form until after the Euros. And they said,
get you.
He looked good in some games, Edu. Let's go buy him. Hurry, Edu, because Chelsea's after him, Edu. You better go get him, Edu, because United's after him. And Edu went riding on his bicycle. He rode down to Italy, and he talked to Calafiore. He said, we got this project. Calafiore said, I've been fed since 14 years old. See my shirt? It's ridiculous. It's money we did not need to spend.
Don't be surprised that Real Madrid tried to get Saliba in this past window.
This summer. Yes.
And then Arsenal, and then Arsenal was going for Calafiore just in case he left. Don't be surprised. Bro, this guy's
Gabriel the Saudi. Gabriel the Saudi. Those aren't dead links, bro.
Don't be shocked
are
that's what happened.
It was Gabriel the Saudi last season, but it took us a trip to Dubai to iron that out. Remember, Gabriel didn't play the first 3 games of last season because of Saudi links.
Hendon Gunner is asking, does anyone know if Gebreyesus is back from
back, he's not
he's back from his injury. But he's back, but he lacks match fitness. And of course it's within the confines of our manager to be able to know if he's going to throw him in, at least in a priority match like the North London Derby. Very important matchup like this. Would you want to, just throw him into the burning furnace? I don't know, man. Oregon Gunner, what do you think?
No, I
throw
think
Gebreyesus into the burning furnace.
No, put him on. If he's evaluated to even play, put him on the bench. If by the
from the bench. From the bench is okay, right? From the bench is okay.
I don't think, but Tony, if it's 1-1,
but again, from the bench, like I want some.
Do you think he's fit enough to come on though? If it's 1-1 and we need that winning goal in the 75th, 80th minute.
Again, I don't think it's fit enough to start the match.
Okay.
I don't think he's fit enough to start the match.
But you
he's
think
not
he can
fit
play.
enough to start the match.
Put in some minutes.
So I'll put that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I want Trossard to come from the bench, and I want Jesus to come from the bench, so that at least we have
Mm,
some sort of machinery coming from the bench, because our bench is already as good as dead. So why not just have
right,
some certain big names come from the bench in the second half?
right,
So I would prefer Gabriel Jesus and Trossard,
sure,
Waneri, maybe Waneri to come from the bench. It's not bad to have that kind of bench
right.
going to Wale.
So are you saying you would start Sterling
Yes,
at the left wing? What is
I
what
will
is your
start
lineup?
Sterling.
What is your lineup? I've
Let's
given you
make
my lineup.
it.
And what
I
is your
mean,
full lineup?
Oregon, Oregon.
Yeah. What's up?
Aren't we tired? Aren't we tired of having the stinkers from Martinelli? Are we not
Yes.
tired?
Yeah. I
Hmm?
2 seasons ago
Are
he's
we,
on the name
no,
of the back of
Oregon
my
Gunner.
shirt. I thought he was going to
Are
be
we,
one of
are
the
we
next
not
big things in
tired?
the Prem. Why was I wrong?
No, Oregon, are we not tired of having this stinkers, yeah, with Gabriel Martinelli, what he gives to us week in, week out? Pure stinkers. I'm tired of it. I want Gabriel Martinelli to come from the bench. Uh, That's what
Okay.
I'm saying again. It's good to have this kind of players that can have some certain kind of, impact from the bench to come from the
Will he
bench in the
have an
second half. It's good to
will
have
he
them
have an
from the
impact?
bench. Why don't we
Will
have
he
them
have
from the
an
bench
impact?
and
Is Martinelli going to score that goal in
yeah,
the
it's
85th
not,
minute? Is that what you're telling me?
no, even if they're not going to score, but at least that name is coming from the bench. Let's see.
Why bring him on if he ain't going to
You know,
score?
I don't mind. I don't mind Ryan Sterling starting.
So, okay.
And with the
So
way they're drilling, but again, I want
who's
to
your
talk to
full
you
11,
about this
buddy?
just before we go, man.
Sure.
You've seen, right? I mean, Oregon, you've seen the videos, yeah. I'm not trying to say we should be all up in the videos,
We're all up in the
dancing in the
videos.
videos. No,
Summer death.
I'm not
No,
all up for
no, I
that.
get you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we should, in the videos and look up the
Right.
videos.
Right.
But what I'm just trying to say here is, I've seen the videos of Ryan Sterling in training and the drills they're giving this guy. I
Mm.
mean, you know,
Hey,
those videos
he's a
look good.
professional footballer.
I mean, I'm not one to. I'm not the one to dance and do a 360 Macarena and go on my knees and dance and shake
You're
the
going to
booty or whatever,
violently
do
shake
the
your
pop
bum like
songs.
Denji.
I'm not all up for that, man. But man, he's looking good in training, man. He's scoring some certain goals in training.
Bro, you should have seen me in training
What
back
do
in
you
my day.
think about
Woo!
Ryan Sterling?
Yeah.
What do you think about Ryan Sterling coming in for this matchup?
Who? Sterling? Did you say Sterling?
Ryan Sterling coming up, because I'm
Right.
seeing him in these training
Um,
videos and he's
no,
looking good, man.
I'm up for it. I think this is a decent game for him to
You're up for
start
it, right?
because yeah, oh yeah. I'm not saying that he's the signing I wanted, but in context, we can quickly go down his Prem career. 3 years at Liverpool,
Mm,
right? Under Brendan Rodgers, with one of
mm.
my opinion, one of the greatest strikers in world football, in Luis Suarez. And Sturridge, remember, it was the triple S attack. The triple S was coming,
Yeah.
right? Remember that,
Hmm.
okay? So he spent 3 years there, okay? And where does he go then?
Hmm.
City, where he
Hmm.
spent 7 years at City. So it's not like he was there for just a couple years. He spent 7 years at that club.
Yeah.
He's involved in 6
Mm.
trophies that they've won. He's been involved. He scored vital goals in Champions League, I believe. He scored some vital goals for them in some of their
Yeah.
FA Cup runs, and he has scored many vital goals for them in the Prem. He is a winner, and I use that in the
Mm.
context of the 7 years he spent at City. If any player
I mean,
spends
did,
that
did he
many
win the Champions League with them?
with
No.
City, I
Did
thought,
he
oh
win
no, he did not with City.
the
Oh wait, did
Champions
he win one?
League with them?
No, he did not. I stand corrected. No, because it was the season after the Kai
Did
Havertz. Oh,
Sterling
he won one with Chelsea.
did Sterling
Oh
win the
man, I
Champions League
forget.
with Man City?
He might have. Wasn't his last year there? No, because they just won it the season before last. No, they just won last season. Take away my CL comment. He scored him. He scored overall. He scored
Yeah,
goals for that
I'm
club.
not so
He's
sure
missed chances.
if he
I
had
know that he's.
left at the
I would say
time.
that Sterling.
I'm
Right.
not
So
sure. I
maybe
think
except for
he's
the
left
Champions
at
League.
the time. I'm not
Fair
sure he
enough.
won
But
the
think about
Champions
this,
League with
Tony.
them.
He's won everything else but the Champions League. Then we'd have to do our research, right? He's won everything else essentially, except for the UEFA Super Cup, right, or
That
something.
says
Okay.
it all.
He's
Yeah,
won
it's
Prem.
true.
He's won FA Cups.
True.
He's won Carabao Cups. So I want to see the Sterling that spent 7 years at
Yeah,
City.
he's a winner.
Right?
He's a winner.
Exactly. I think that Chelsea under Poch was not the right setup. He isn't a senior leader. I don't think he has that leadership ability that Chelsea were expecting, right? But I am expecting a rejuvenated Sterling at Arsenal. My expectation is that Arteta will get him back to form. 7 years he spent at City with Arteta, or 4 years, I'm sorry, he spent at City with Arteta, because there's Pellegrini and obviously Mancini in there before Pep. So if we can get the City Sterling, that's not a bad signing. It's not the signing I wanted. I don't think it's the signing anyone in this chat wanted. Maybe I'm just see a global, but anyway, I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Again, it was an opportunistic signing, which drives me just insane, right? Because it's like, oh, he's available. Oh, let's go buy him because we've worked with them, blah blah blah, and it's Sterling. It's a name, but it is experience depth. It is exactly what I've been asking for in having experienced depth. If we didn't have Sterling, which creativity can come from, right? He can be creative on the ball at times, right? I'm not saying he's Odegaard or he's KDB, right? But he can get space. He can get himself a couple of yards and curve a shot into top bins. We've seen him do it over and over and over. And we've seen him miss shots. We've seen him miss sitters. But all fucking players miss sitters one time or another, right? And that's what I understand. I don't like Raheem Sterling because he comes from rivals, so I don't like that aspect of it. But at the end of the day, once the red and white comes on, we have to back them in some way, shape, and form, even if we criticize them afterwards and give them a bad rating. They're still in the red and white, and we have to get behind them. And hopefully he has his City form. Hopefully Arteta can bring that out of him instead of coaching it out of him. Bring it out of him, right? Make it work, Arteta. That's the important part, is just making it work. Right. He has no other.
Dow,
what's
your prediction for that matchup against Tottenham Hotspur in the weekend? I don't know. Do we face Atlanta this week or next week?
No, following I think either the Wednesday or Thursday.
Week.
Okay. The Champions League is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday now.
Yeah.
Right, 3 days. So the UEFA League Cup might be Fridays or something. Or every take that back.
Friday.
The UEFA League will be the opposite week of Champions League, not Fridays. The opposite week. Champions League, UEFA Cup, Champions League, UEFA Cup, etc. Because I remember Lee Gunner was talking about that. Anyway, shout out Lee, my man. So my prediction, Tony, is 2-2.
Yeah.
I said that. I think I said that last week with TJ or with you. Of course, you were on our show last week. I'm saying 2-2. As much as I want the football gods and the stars to align, and as much as I would love to have all the answers, I would love a 3-0 fucking smashing. Trust me, I'd love a 1-0 smashing if we really played above, but just got that goal, But 2-2, I think, is kind of realistic. But I'm never going to ever predict a Tottenham win ever. If they win, they win. I'm never, ever, ever going to predict that. Ever. I've never predicted that on YouTube ever. I don't think, even when they've played the shit like Leicester and Palace, I still predict Leicester and Palace to beat fucking Tottenham. I never predict them to win, draw or lose. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, guys, Oregon Gunner is laughing there. Oregon Gunner is laughing right now.
Colors on today.
I pray he smiles, this weekend.
You know, Tony, in this chat, I bleed the red and white.
Guys,
and
you don't want to see this man get
ever letting Tottenham ever get the advantage on any club in the Premier League, ever. If they played Rapid Vienna, I'm going Rapid Vienna 2-1. If they're playing fucking Atletico Madrid, I'm going Atletico Madrid 4-0. I will never predict them to win, ever.
Yeah, so, guys.
I got to go 2-2,
bro. You guys need to see.
where we're really at, Tony, it's a 1-1, 2-2 game. I don't really see a clear winner. Big up Bargav. Yeah, I do not see a clear winner in this match.
You guys need to
Bargav's
see
right.
Oregon
Losing is
Gunner
not
pissed.
allowed.
You
We
guys
are
need to
not going
see
to lose this
Oregon
game.
Gunner when he's pissed, man. When Oregon Gunner
I'm
is
pissed.
pissed with Arsenal after a loss,
I'm
I mean,
very upset. I'm upset now.
I've checked up on him once or twice when we've lost last season, and man,
Mm.
you don't want to be in that space,
It's
man.
therapy, bro.
He's
You need to lay down
fuming,
on the
man.
couch,
He's
pen and a
freaking
pencil.
fuming. Right from the chart, you start feeling his the fumes
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah.
You don't
I'm
want to
already
be there.
feeling a little
Uh,
warm.
and and I want my brother to smile this weekend, against
Oh, thank
this
you. I
not
appreciate that.
Londoners, our
I
evil
want everyone to
rivals.
smile, man.
Big ups
Arsenal,
to
we deserve
Bargav,
it.
man.
We
Bargav,
got to get this win.
Bargav. Bargav gets a three gun salute, man. Po po po. Big up
Boom.
to you, Bargav, guys. You know the respect I have for Bargav, the first person to be here on this channel. That's Bargav, guys. I
Beautiful.
have lots of respect for this guy. Me and him were supposed to do a couple of shows, this season, but
Bring them on.
American football is back. That's his first love. So,
Yeah, yeah.
he's eloped
My
with his
Ducks are
first
playing
love,
Saturday, so
which is American football. But
yep.
Bagav will be back on the channel, of course, with it because Champions League night, a night that me and Bagav share in common, and he loves Champions League night. So that's one thing I know of Bagav. He relishes Champions League night. So couple of
Yeah, I'd
those
love to have him on the
shows will
show.
be
If you want to
done
join
with
us,
me and
Bargav,
him.
let Tony know.
Let's see, but when the Champions League come, we'll know what happens. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Argun Gunnar, what do you have coming up, man? And it's
Oh,
Argun Gunnar. It was great being with you last week
oh,
on the
thank you. That was
American
fun.
Idiot Show.
Yeah, that was a great show.
That was a great
Yeah, that
show,
was a
man.
great show.
TJ
Shout
out,
out
brother.
Delboy
TJ
that he
out,
was able to show. Yeah,
love
shout out
TJ
TJ.
out, him.
And Delboy was great too. And he had not as much time, but yeah, that was fun. We got to get you on and another guest on as well for sure. What I got going on, Tony? I got um let's see. I TJ and I are doing a show Sunday, I think after the game, if I remember correctly. Sorry, TJ, my hours are a little off. Saturday, I'm going to,
Okay.
a friend of
Oh
mine
my
passed away.
God, guys, you don't want to miss that one. You don't want to miss that one.
Yeah, we don't want to get two goals. Oh God, I might have to
You
watch
don't
the
want to miss
highlights of
that
that.
one.
But no, Tony. For Saturday, I'm going. A friend of mine, a friend of mine passed away a couple years from cancer, so we're having a get together with his family to watch the University of
Ah,
Ducks football
okay.
game. So
Yeah, you
the
told me of
second
that, your
annual,
friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He
second
so rest in
annual
peace.
Skip Fox
Mm,
Oregon Ducks get together. So this is the second year myself and some close friends and his wife and going to get together and just watch the Ducks game because we loved watching college football. That was like his favorite thing. So yeah, I'll be watching college football and of course I'll be watching English Premier League, La Liga as much as I can. I subscribe to ESPN Plus, so now I can get some La Liga games.
yeah.
So I'll be watching more of that. And
Okay.
then
See
Sunday
some
morning,
La
bro.
Liga. Mm,
Yeah, I've been trying to watch more of that. But Sunday morning, I got to get up at 5:45 to watch the game because it's 6 a.m. here in the West
and
Coast
watch
on
the
Sunday.
game.
So it'll be really early to watch
Mm,
the match. And then actually I'm doing a show I think with TJ right after that, like a match reaction show at 9:30 or something like that in the morning on my time. But
okay.
um, yeah. So other than that, you can find me at Oregon Goon here on YouTube and infamous underscore Dow on IG. I shut down my ex Twitter account. Don't really use that. So those are the only two social media platforms. But other than that, great show today, Tony. We dived into a lot of stuff. And I guess to up like the thing with Atalanta, I'm not too worried about
Mm,
Atalanta to be honest. I think we can beat them there if Arteta just plays the right formation and the right players, right? But that may be a game we can see in Wari because I think he may be able to open them up. We'll see.
oh,
But I'm not overly afraid of Atalanta. I
mm,
mean, it could have, but Inter, I'm definitely afraid of. I think we have them after City. So there's my piece, brother.
okay.
Thanks again for having me on the show. Great to see everyone in the chat.
Peace. See ya, guys. Yeah. Of course, we have to thank Oregon Gunner for coming down here again and giving us a great, 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 big, big, big show today. Of
It
course,
was
my
fun.
brother, I was with him and TJ Warren to channel the American Idiot show. Great time spent with his brother on that show. It's nice to have him down here for our own show, and you know it. We always
Right.
talk facts when it's here, because man, Oregon Gunner, we don't look at things with, we don't look at things from a biased point of view. Of course, we're biased because we're Arsenal fans, of course, but we always try to 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 put into consideration the facts,
Mm,
of the matter. That Oregon Gunner has been, talking about replacement, up front. He's been talking about that striker. We didn't get the striker. He's been talking
right.
about that midfield reinforcement. None. No, we didn't get anything. He has been very critical about Martinelli, and of course, uh, this season we've seen what has happened. I mean, me and Oregon Gunner are churning out these shows, and it just seems like whatever we actually, talking about, it- I mean, it's just unfolding in our eyes,
Right.
like in real time, and it's
Right.
just funny that these things are happening. So, the show it's quite big for me, and of course, you guys know that I've been doing lots of refereeing lately. So
Mm-hmm.
but again, even if I've been doing that, I don't play with this show. I don't joke with this show. I love this show so much. This night I'll be out there with Sarkazin TV with TJ. TJ's pumped
Nice.
for that one. Saw him on Twitter, laughing, enjoying himself. TJ can't wait to roast me on this one, but you
Oh
know,
boy. What are you guys on with Flawless
but
today, or is that tomorrow?
it's all good.
Are you
Yeah,
on with
yeah, yeah.
Flawless today
We're
or
with
tomorrow?
Flores today,
Oh, today. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
with
be sure to
Flawless.
tune in
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
for sure. I
yeah,
like
with
that show.
Flawless. Yeah, so
Don't let them get you, Tony.
yeah, sure. It will be a
You
proper,
don't
proper
have
show.
all the answers, TJ Warren.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So, I'll be with Flawless and we'll chop it up this night. So, join us 11,
Yeah,
I think
Jordan.
it should be 11:30 p.m. UK time. Just join us for that one. See ya, guys. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Today, me and Oregon going to be back next week. I'll try and talk to Bagav if Bagav can come for the Champions League next week. Let's see if that's gonna be
Yeah.
possible. And me and Josh will be back next week. Josh through Gunner channel,
Yep.
that guy's
Real
doing
one.
beats. And then I'll talk to Marty and see if I can get him on. Digi Spores has been running away from me, for a long time.
Run, Deji, run. I know he'll see this on
Tottenham
playback.
Hotspur is not really doing well, so he doesn't want to get knackered in my
He doesn't
show.
want to
So
face me tomorrow.
I do understand that. No problems there. From me and Oregon Gunner,
Shout
my
out, Deji.
guy, we
Peace,
big ups to
y'all.
Jordan Heyman. He just joined us. He
Yep,
says,
join.
"Hey, Tony, brother. Hey, Jordan Heyman. Big ups to you, Liverpool fan down there. Subscribe to his channel, Jordan Heyman Sports Hub. He's a great guy, great Liverpool fan. Join him
And they
down
got
there, guys.
Chiesa. We couldn't even
From
get
me and
Chiesa over
Oregon
the
Gunner,
line.
we